Word.
Welcome back to the channel, y'all. So, interesting topic for today. It's about hate, haters, hatred, and knowing how to spot them. And it's a very subtle thing. It's noticing people's energy when they don't say things. It's noticing when they do say certain things and how they feel about it and what they really mean. It's getting clarity, even when people don't want you to get clarity of certain things. It's a lot to it. There's haters everywhere you go. But if you're experiencing haters and you're not one of the people doing the hating most of the time, I got good news for you. You doing what you're supposed to be doing. That's why you got haters. That's why they're there. It's to distract you from doing what you're supposed to be doing. And the fact that you have them and you notice them, or sometimes you don't even notice them until it's a real hatred upon you. Then it's like, damn, I've been so into me and what I was doing and focusing on what I was supposed to be getting done. I had no idea that you was even hating. Or that I even had you feeling some type of way. Anything. You know what I mean? It really just comes down to keeping your beam pure. There's a beam that's coming out of everyone. And it shoots straight up into the sky. Into the universe. And you gotta be able to keep that pure without the many distractions that life is going to throw at you. And one of the greatest manifestations of a distraction that life throws at you is a hater. Haters come in many shapes and forms and sizes and things like that. The best of haters are going to be interwoven into your life. They're going to be your partner, your brothers, your sisters, your mom, your dad. These people who build you up, as I mentioned in my What Makes You Special video, are going to be the same people who turn into haters and try to tear you down. And some of them, it's a temporary thing. It's like on the Matrix when the agents turn into people. Instead of just putting a hand into them and having them assimilate over, no, they just lock onto your location as the one, then they into somebody's body. They just possess that person. They hater possess that person and step into them, and there's no subtle change. You got to know how to spot the soul in people and that spirit of jealousy and envy inside of them. You have to be able to identify a hater when they hate, or when it's going to be something that's going to lead to them to being susceptible to being taken over by the hater spirit. You know what I mean? That's what the agents are. And that's why it could be anyone at any time, anywhere. Because it steps into them. It's like, it's literally like being struck by lightning. And it goes by their triggers of what they do have or what they don't have, what they want or what they feel like you getting before them. You know what I mean? And really, it shouldn't be any type of competition, especially if they're a loved one of yours. If they're a loved one of yours, shouldn't be any competition. You guys should be working in tandem to get those things together. But a hater would never. Why would I help you? Is how they see it. Not, why would I help myself too? Why would we help each other? No. They're doing something for you. And they make it very known that they're doing something for you. Me personally, if I let you know I'm doing something for you, it's because it's to combat you being a hater. And you discrediting what I've been doing for you, even though I've been doing it without expectation. I don't want anything back from you but to see you become a better person or see you grow. Because I'm not a hater. I don't have to get nothing back from that. I want you to be better than what you came to me as. And that's anybody. Because I'm focused on trying to leave my mark. And my mark's going to be left with the people who I've affected and who I've touched while I'm here. You know what I mean? I aim to touch a soul and transform it into something that's completely different. You know? A lot of people walk around here uninspired. You don't have to be amused to the world. You just have to inspire one person. Each one, teach one. It's not by force. It's by sure expression and connection. Find somebody you connect with. And not on no hater level. Not on no, oh, we both get along because we don't like that motherfucker over there who's great. There's no point of trauma bonding. There is no point of loser bonding. Two negatives ain't never made a positive like that. It'll translate back over to you when you actually start having something that's worth losing and people start hating on you and you start to notice it. Instead of just thinking, why is things happening to me? Why is this my life? That's your life because you make it like that and you focus on the negativity of it more than the aspect of just being like, yeah, fuck that. Yeah, it happened, but we onto some new shit. Or that was one thing that happened in my road to becoming great. Or you know what? If that didn't happen, then I wouldn't have learned a lesson from that to make sure that it never happens again. I'll make sure that it don't happen to other people too, because I'm not a hater. I don't want to see somebody go through what I went through. Now, if they insist, I'm also not going to hold your ass back. I'm not your daddy. I only got one baby. So it's just, that's what it is. I'm not going to hate on you and prevent you from doing what you want to do in life. Even if that is being a hater. I'm not here to speak against that. What I'm here to speak against is unproductivity because you want to be a hater. My life is the way it is now due to hatred. Someone didn't want my father to have more than they had at the time. Even though they were all supposed to be on the same team. Supposed to be friends. Right. It teaches you a lesson about things in life. Not everyone can be you. And some people know this. Why you expect them to do what you want them to do, it's a little naive. Just a little. But honestly, that's what pure spirits do. That's what people who are pure heart do. And if you take advantage of them, hey man, I'm sorry you felt that way. God bless me. I'm sorry you felt that way or that low to the point where you had to take that from me. Hater shit. And you can't control it. You could prevent it, but that's just gonna make it come back bigger and badder the next time. It's like an episode of Power. You see it coming. What can you do to stop it? You know what I mean? The feds is coming. The haters is coming. The dope boys is coming. The jackets is coming. Everybody, they coming, man. What you gonna do? You gonna stop being great? Or you gonna be greater than the obstacles that these haters and their hatred throw at you? Are you gonna rise above these obstacles and be like Jet Li, the one? You know what I mean? You gonna really shine through and show that your mind is infinite and that you can really outshine and outthink any of these situations that you're being put in, because your soul is determined to win. You're a winner. You're not a hater. And you got too much winning to do. And all this winning that you got left to do can't be stopped or quelled by any 1, 2, 3 haters. If you on your toes, if you really listening to your instincts, if you really tapped in with nature and spirituality and everything else like you supposed to be, nothing's gonna be able to stop you. You got to be able to be on all sides of the game. So when you feel like you stagnant or you comfortable on one side, that's some work you're not doing in another. And that's even a note to myself. Straight up. It's never, until you check out this place, it's never nothing you ain't supposed to do. There's never no, oh, I'm done now. I've reached the end of this. Not until you checked out. And who says it's done even when you check out? Who says that there ain't been energetic haters on the other side? Egregors that have came from the other side who are hating on you on this side. Where you think those hater spirits came from that jumped into your folks? That jumped into your coworkers? That jumped into that officer? That jumped into that landlord? That jumped into whoever? Where do you think these people came from? Where do you think these entities came from? Where do you think that energy came from? What do you think it wants with you? What do you think it's doing? What's up? Why is it attracted to you? Why is your life this way? You see other people's lives and you don't know the things that they're going through, but you can guarantee that for the most part they're not going through what you're going through at the time. Even some of your haters, even some of them will have a better life than you or a better situation than you at the time, still hate. Why? What's getting in them that makes them want to hate like that? I don't understand it. I've been dealing with haters my whole life. Hating ass people in situations and whatnot. None of it ever really makes too much sense for me. I used to want peace, man. I used to want to really just sit and meditate and whatnot. And then I'd be like, where am I getting these thoughts from being killed and all this other stuff? Why do I have this post-traumatic stress disorder and all this other stuff? Why am I paranoid and all these other things? There's too much of the inbreeding of the environment of where I came from. It didn't breed peace. So I don't know it internally, and I'm in search of it. And this is a condition that's due to being around haters all the fucking time. I don't believe in actual comfort and ease and peace, and even when I go to the chiropractor, things like that, or when I do acupuncture and stuff like that, it's hard for my body to relax. It's hard for me not to be tense because I'm so used to being on the go. I'm so used to being looking over my shoulders. I'm so used to being paranoid. I'm so used to being under attack. Energetically, physically, emotionally, expectations. Listen, there's a lot that comes with being a human in general, right? Sure. Everybody has their struggles and their gripes. But not everyone has these high levels of discontent and uncomfort and whatnot, and having to feel like you have to bite down just to get through certain things. You're bearing, you're gritting through it. You don't even notice because it's so natural. Not everyone has that. And you don't know that if it's not something that you haven't been experiencing. So when you live around haters all the time, yeah, the PTSD is fully blown. Yeah, it's active. Yeah, but what if they do this? But what if this happens? But what if that happens? Comes from being around haters a lot and not wanting to be a victim, and also not wanting to be the person who's out there doing this shit to people. For what? Listen, man, I'm trying to have it all the ball. That don't mean I gotta take it from you. That don't mean I gotta stop you from getting it. And if I'm trying to take it from you or trying to stop you from getting it, that's stopping me from doing what I actually want to be doing, which is making it, doing it, getting it legit. Not having bad karma and bad people in my life and bullshit and the feds and who wants that? You want peace. Why such discontent? I've never seen anyone go the opposite way of what they wanted and get it. I've never seen it. I've never seen anyone not do the work of what they were supposed to do and get the prize. I'm just saying. So ultimately, being in this sense of I just want to be alone, or being in hermit mode, I guess they call it, it's kind of ideal. You know, I just had a conversation with one of the drivers at my job, and I was telling them about where I'm from in Richmond, and he was telling me his family owns a deli, or used to own a deli out there called Pepitos. It was off 23rd. We even did like the Google mapping on it and everything. We had a cool little time, cool little talk. You know what I mean? I don't know if you want me to mention his name in here, so I'm not going to. But it was cool because in this exchange with him, I didn't feel, ultimately where I live, I don't feel like I have to be on my toes all the time. There are times where I'm just like, nah, fuck that, I don't care. Like, I'm in that mode, you know what I mean? But that's a protective thing. That's a self-preserving type of thing. That's a me and my nature type of thing. But while I'm talking to him, I didn't feel like that. I felt like, oh man, I could just genuinely talk with you, bro. Oh yeah, no. See, look, if you've gone this far up 23rd and you're in North Richmond, I grew up in Central Richmond. It's a different thing, you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't hanging out over there too much and none of that other stuff just because there was complications between people that I used to hang out with and people over there. You know what I mean? Like, I had to explain to him the situation, you know what I mean? And that is what it is. I told him a lot of it's gentrified now, but shit, it still be going down. You know what I mean? Don't get caught. But he was just telling me situations and whatnot, and for me to even have to explain it to him in such ways, he was just like, oh, okay. Like, you could tell, like, every time I kind of bring up my general experience in Richmond, even if it was something that I saw as a positive, it was kind of seen like, oh damn, like, all right, you know what I mean? Like, you don't feel that all uncomfortable around people with guns because it's like, at least we safe, at least you can shoot back. Like, unless you're not just getting shot at, you know what I mean? And that's just such a uncomforting, you don't realize it's a twisted perspective of thinking because you're so desensitized to it because, shit, nigga, we just trying to live. Fuck that, nigga, it's either shoot or get shot on all that other shit. But it's like, are you with the nigga who's gonna bounce out when he see his ops, or is you with the nigga who go get shot at first? And that, I guess I'll ask him next time, how does he feel when I mention certain things like that? That'll be an interesting perspective to kind of get. But when I mention these things, you can kind of see, like, he just couldn't relate. Like, his life as a driver and doing what he does and living his life, he doesn't go into that mode of just feeling like, oh, nigga, I gotta have it on me. You know what I mean? Or, damn, you know what I mean? It's sketchy around this motherfucker. Niggas look shiesty. Shit. I don't know. He don't be having those. It's just, no, all right. Well, about to go home. Okay. Well, about to go to work. All right. Bye, honey. See you later. Or, about to go see my chick. All this other stuff. He hasn't had a life devastated by haters. Let's just say that. Let's just say the haters haven't been plentiful. It hasn't been just like a bunch of bullshit and doom and gloom and death in the family and certain families backstabbing each other. There might have been a little bit of some of one of them things. Not like a culmination of all of that, which a lot of people who grew up in Richmond or just grew up in the hood in general deem their motherfucking life. You ain't even got to be black. It just came with the territory of living in Richmond or living in the hood, surrounded by haters. When they say that people hate their own, I think people take that as a blanket term. I think there's a disconnect on both sides with the communication on what's happening. And there needs to be a thorough explanation each generation. Every time somebody come up, every time you about to be like 12, 13, you got to go get educated on what them elders talking about, and they need to be educated on what these youngsters talking about. So there's a connect with the generation instead of a gap. I don't know how a YN and Unc would be able to connect with Grandpa any other way. So it's I don't know. There'll just be too much of a disconnect going on when it comes to certain things being said. And that leaves room for hate to start and all that other stuff. It has no place. And if you're sitting back and letting hate be the primary in your life, that's that cancerous shit. That's how you go down the wrong tunnel. That's how you end up in a place where you got a lot of regret, or you didn't see life coming at you this way because you don't believe it was real in that way. There's enough hate going on out here to ruin enough people's lives, and it needs to be coming to more of a minimum. This isn't a emotional intelligence type of thing. This is more of a how you treat people, how you treat people how you treat people who seriously want to be, I don't know. People who really just want to live peacefully. I guess I was trying to avoid saying that, but there's no other way to say it. And not everyone knows how to treat people who want to live peacefully. Some people take that as a threat, or take it as opposition or something. Like, it's real weird to me. Like, I just can't figure that out. How is that hard to understand that some people just want to be left alone to do what they want to do and move in harmony with other people? I don't see that as hard to adapt to. But anyway, I have to go. So I'll see you guys next time. Probably talk again about some haters later. We'll see.